Here at Big Ten Media Days with the head coach, Ryan Day. Ryan, I mean, it's going to be an exciting year for you guys. It always is. Of course, everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks. That is how things roll. So first things first, Devin, he had an injury during the spring. How is he doing now?
Yeah, he's 100%. He's had a full summer. He came back off a break in May and jumped right into it, and he's had a really good summer.
And now, of course, that competition. I know that you are very hands-on involved in that. What are you wanting to see these guys kind of take that next step from the spring that they maybe learned in the summer to get going in the fall?
Yeah, I think when you are in the summer and you're doing your workouts, you're throwing routes on air, you're in the weight room, you're doing those type of things, and that's all good. It's very, very important. It allows you an opportunity. But what you got to go play the game, and you got to go put the team on your back and move them down the field, make great decisions, and that's very, very different. It's playing the game, and so we're going to try to get as many of those opportunities as possible, and evaluate it throughout the preseason. Continue to evaluate it as the season goes on.
Without giving away any secrets, I mean, how do you do that? How do you kind of put these guys in as close to those game situations as you can?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing is I think a lot of it comes back to your experiences and what you see, training quarterbacks and being around quarterbacks. You just look for different things that may come up in practice, but then also you try to put them in situations, third down situations, red zone situations, to learn how they would operate there. And then put them in scrimmage situations. So the ball, goes down on the 25-yard line, and do you move the team down the field to score a touchdown or not? Because it can come down to a 3rd and 5. Do you make the throw or do you not make the throw? And all it takes is a couple plays and ruin your whole day. And so that's what's unique about the quarterback position, and so we'll be keeping a close eye on that.
Speaking of unique, what is unique about each guy that you liked so far? Because they're very different quarterbacks. So what is unique about each guy that you've liked so far?
Well, Lincoln just showed up, and he's got a lot of athleticism, and he is not intimidated. He is not taking a back seat. I mean, he's jumping right into it. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a long way to go. But you can see the athleticism, and you can see the confidence come out in him. Tristan Gibbia is somebody who really wants to be a coach, and he's done an unbelievable job of coming in, helping the other guys. He really knows the offense well. He's learned it well. He looks at it through a coach's lens, so it's almost like he's like a player coach on the field, and so that's really good. And then when it comes to Kyle and Devin, they have worked really hard this offseason. I think they've worked hard to build leadership, to have a voice amongst the team. Kyle's been there for 3 years. Devin now will be in the 2nd year. They both bring the ability to throw the ball at a high level. The movement skills are a little bit different, but they both have athleticism. They both worked hard on their bodies, and so it's going to come down to the decision making and how competitive they are.
Around them, I mean, you have two of the deepest running back wide receiver rooms that you've had since you've been here, especially the running back room. How are things going to be shaping out there, especially, Evan coming back from all of that? Yeah,
I mean, that's as deep a running back room as I've ever been around. Like you said, I mean, we're 5 deep there, and then also Xavier has taken some handoffs as well. So TC Caffey, actually, who, tore his ACL, who has, a lot of ability. So, I mean, we're very, very deep there. But I think we're just excited to have a healthy group there. I mean, I think was one of the things that we're all very excited about is having Trey come back healthy, having Mayan come back healthy. Chip is healthy now. He had a hamstring at one point. Dallin has been great for us, and now having Evan come back off of his injury. So excited to see how that all shakes out in the preseason, but yeah, very, very deep.
But at the same time, running backs, I mean, they get dinged up. So how important is it to have that many capable, well-rounded backs in that room?
Yeah, it's very important. It's going to continue to be important more and more as we start heading to the playoffs, where it's a long season, a lot more games, and so depth is important.
Depth, offensive line, that's kind of a question mark. What are you liking so far from these O-linemen, and how is Josh Simmons kind of fitting into the mold? I mean, it's only been a couple months, but how's he fitting in?
Well, he's fitting in well. He's very, very talented. We've been very, very pleased with his ability to move, and so we're excited about that. Now he's got to learn it. He's got to learn the speed of the game at Ohio State. He's got to learn the offense. He's got to learn all that stuff. But that's where Justin, and Mike do a great job of coaching these guys up. I think we got it surrounded there. But there's some guys who haven't played a lot. Carson Hinsman at center. Josh Fryer's played some here and there. Tegra. Luke Montgomery would like to make a push here as well. So the good news is we have some different guys, but they don't have a lot of experience. So we got to get them going, and but they're into it. They're working really hard, and again, they've had a really good summer.
And the chemistry is important with those guys too, but they've all kind of been around each other for a little bit, minus maybe Josh and Luke, but they've all been kind of around each other growing up, if you will.
Well, yeah, and I think that's where Donovan and Matt have to really take that next step forward is like, okay, you've played before, but now you need to help the guy next to you, and it's okay to help tell him what to do or communicate with him. They've been in those environments before, and so we need them to show that veteran and show that leadership.
Let's flip to the other side real quick because the defense last year, obviously, it was a lot of new.
Yep.
Now they've been in it a year, and there's going to be more added. Denzel's healthy. There's lots of good pieces that have come in. What do you like about the transfers and people you have brought in to help this defense?
Well, yeah, we've had some really good pieces and some young players too as well. Really excited about some of the freshmen we've brought in, really talented. Again, they still have to learn what it's all about, and it's hard when you're young. But I'm most excited about the experience that we have coming back. You know, you look at, like you said, with Denzel, and now we have Jordan Hancock. You know, Davidson's come in, he's played before. We've added Lorenzo, we've added Jihad Carter. These guys have played some football before, which is great. Lathan's played before. You got the front with JT and Jack and Tyleek and Ty and Tommy, Steele, Cody. These guys have played a lot of football. It's probably the most experienced team we've had since 19 coming back. That's really important. And so, as we all know, one of the things that we're really making sure that we handle in the offseason is limiting the explosive plays. And that's, you know, something that really broke our back down the stretch last year. But there was a lot of growth made with the defense. And now that it's into year two, they're learning and really focusing on how to do it as opposed to what to do. And I think that's, you know, that's been good here, and we'll see how it translates into the beginning of the season.
Spoke to Josh Fryer over the weekend, and he said that Team Up North game is the biggest game of the year. And if anybody says it's not, they're lying to you. How do you flip the table this year for Buckeye Nation that's, you know, wanting to know how to get it done this year?
Yeah, well, it's like that every year. That's not new to this year. We know that. I just think that, you know, when you look at that game and you go back and watch the film the last couple of years, you know, and we can talk about some of the reasons why it happened, is that we didn't execute well enough in the second half, and that showed up, and it really some big plays on defense. And you really go back and look at that drive that happened in the third quarter where we get the ball inside the 25-yard line. We had a holding penalty and then a 15-yard penalty. It was almost like a 50-yard swing. You know, that's like a turnover. So, you know, there's just a lot of those areas that we've really been focusing on and looking at the game and saying, you know, if we execute here, it's a whole different game. And so in those matchup games, it can come down to 2 or 3 plays. And that's one of the things as the season goes on, we have to continue to hammer with our team, because when you beat a team by 28, sometimes, you know, you don't feel like, okay, 1 or 2 plays can affect this game because, you know, you win by so much. When on these matchup games, all those plays matter. So, and then coming off the Georgia game, you know, you're a play or 2 away from winning that game as well. So the focus in this offseason has been really just trying to figure out where those plays are, where those days are that just get away from you that we can't have happen.
My last one for you. We've talked about a lot of stuff. What have we not talked about that you think is important? Basically, do my job for me here and just fill in my gaps here.
I just think that the motivation coming off of last season and the experience, the combination of those 2 things are exciting for all of us. To see a team, see a guy like Tommy Eichenberg and Cade Stover come back, you know, see some of the veteran guys want to, you know, really take the next step this year. Coming off of, you know, a bad taste in our mouth last year, has made for a great offseason. Some really good leadership. A guy like Xavier Johnson, who's been here, you know, for 5 years now, and just been a huge part of what we've done, you know, towards the end of the season last year. And so it's fun to be around some of those veteran guys that have been around this. And even, you know, guys like Emeka and Marvin, you say, well, they're still young, but they played a lot of football. So I think that's probably what has everybody most juiced going into August.